This is the official podcast of Swedish Experts, an auto service company that combines an engineering-driven approach, deep diagnostics, and a modern perspective on vehicle technology. Here, we break down the key transport news from Dubai and the UAE, analyze infrastructure developments, and discuss how they impact drivers, service providers, and the future of urban mobility. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are opening up the files on one of the most, ambitious transformations happening anywhere in the world.
It really is. We're talking about the complete mobility overhaul underway across the UAE.
And these are projects that, they bridge the gap between heavy infrastructure and what feels like pure science fiction.
And this dive is really driven by an unavoidable, urgent reality right now. If you look at the source data, all this massive investment, it's entirely reactive.
Reactive to a congestion crisis.
Exactly. The amount of time drivers are losing to traffic delays is it's rising exponentially.
And we're not talking about a small inconvenience. The projections for next year they're brutal. We're looking at delays expected to reach up to 45 hours per driver in 2025.
45 hours. And to put that in perspective, that's up from 35 hours in 2024.
10 hours more in a single year.
That's right. That means drivers are projected to lose nearly 2 full working days just stuck in traffic next year. That brutal spike is the economic and, frankly, the quality of life driver behind this entire national strategy.
It certainly illustrates why the country is pouring billions into this. You've got increased population density, a growing number of vehicles. The existing arteries are simply overwhelmed.
Right.
And the core response is this huge national effort to establish the UAE as a, quote, smart, future-ready country.
So the goal isn't just to catch up, it's to leapfrog global standards.
Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission here is to dissect exactly how they plan to pull this transformation off. We've broken this deep dive into 3 critical layers. First, the traditional capacity challenge new road networks, the foundational inter-emirate rail. Second, we'll look at the leap into revolutionary speed, high-speed rail and aerial mobility.
And finally,
how they're using smart tech and micro-mobility to solve that urban last-mile challenge.
it's a total system overhaul, really, attacking the problem from the asphalt all the way up to the airspace.
So let's begin where most of us start our day, the road network. The federal government's commitment kicks off with a staggering $170 billion National Transport Upgrade Program.
And that number, $170 billion, to put that into context for you, that is roughly the GDP of a smaller EU nation.
Wow.
All being invested purely into mobility infrastructure.
That scale is crucial. And it's being deployed across new construction and strategic expansion.
Right. And the cornerstone of that new construction is the proposed 4th Pan-Emirate Highway.
This isn't just the side road we're talking about.
No, not at all. This is a 120-kilometer new artery. And get this, it features a massive 12 lanes, 6 in each direction.
12 lanes is huge. That road alone is designed to handle up to 360,000 trips per day. It'll join the 3 existing federal giants, the E11, E311, and E611.
Which together already serve, over 850,000 commuters. So the new highway's main function is really to distribute that immense traffic load away from the existing routes.
Providing redundancy and new paths for that north-south flow.
Exactly.
But capacity isn't just about building new roads. It's about making the old ones work harder. Etihad Road is being widened to 12 lanes, and Emirates Road will expand to 10 lanes.
And that 10-lane expansion alone, that's slated to increase capacity by a remarkable 65%. The cost is around $750 million, with completion set for the next 2 years.
And we see a similar thing on Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road, widening to 10 lanes, which should improve flow by roughly 45%.
Right.
But wait, doesn't the history of urban planning everywhere tell us that just widening roads even to 12 lanes, doesn't that just invite future congestion? You're just building a bigger parking lot for 10 years from now?
That is the essential question. And that's where the strategy shifts from just capacity expansion to smart infrastructure.
Okay.
These highway projects are deeply integrated with the RTA's, the Roads and Transport Authority's efforts in Dubai. The RTA is executing 72 major projects by 2027. We're talking 226 kilometers of new roads, 115 bridges.
But the key is that these roads are not just concrete.
They're not just concrete, they are sensors. That's the real difference maker. We are talking about advanced traffic control centers, adaptive signaling, sensors baked right into the asphalt that facilitate vehicle-to-infrastructure communication, V2I.
Which for our listeners in the service industry, that's a big deal.
It's huge. Because it changes diagnostics. The vehicle's health data and the traffic flow data become intertwined. The idea is to manage congestion dynamically, not just build your way out of it.
That makes perfect sense. We're moving from passive roads to active traffic ecosystems, but the ultimate capacity shift, moving hundreds of thousands of people,
Yeah.
that has to be the transition to rail.
It does. Let's talk about the long-awaited Etihad Rail passenger network.
The foundational piece.
It's the foundational inter-emirate piece scheduled for a 2026 launch. This is a 900-kilometer network connecting all 7 Emirates, running the full length of the country from Guifat to Fujairah.
Yeah, the key impact figures here are profound for commuters. These trains are designed to hit speeds up to 200 kilometers per hour.
And that velocity, that 200-kilometer, it cuts the road travel time from Abu Dhabi to Dubai down to just 57 minutes.
Which is faster than most people can manage in rush hour today.
Absolutely. And with each train carrying up to 400 passengers, well, the cumulative effect will take thousands of cars off the highways every single day.
It's not just about speed then.
It's about reliable capacity and integrating seamlessly with the local metro and bus networks. It makes an inter-emirate commute feasible on a mass scale for the first time.
Okay, so if Etihad Rail solves the capacity problem with reliable 200-kilometer air travel, our next section moves into solving the speed problem, with systems that truly rewrite the physics of the commute.
Right, this is where it gets really interesting.
Let's move to ultra-high-speed rail and aerial mobility.
Velocity is the defining feature here. They aren't settling for 200 kilometers between Abu Dhabi and Dubai. No, they are planning a dedicated, new, electrified high-speed line just for that key corridor.
That's the one that moves at up to 350 kilometers per hour.
350.
That's blurring the line between mass transit and air travel. What's the engineering difficulty in laying track for that kind of speed across desert terrain?
It requires extreme, almost unbelievable precision. At 350 kilometers, the smallest deviation in track alignment creates massive safety issues.
I can imagine.
So this requires highly specialized ballast, continuous welded rail, advanced signaling. The infrastructure investment is just monumental, not just in cost, but in the technical standards required.
And the reward for all that effort is that it cuts the travel time between the two major cities down to just 30 minutes.
30 minutes. And that journey will be served by 6 major stations at really strategic points: Reem Island, Yas Island, Saadiyat, Zaid Airport, Al Maktoum Airport, and Jeddah.
So they're putting them right where people need to go.
Exactly. It's designed for seamless, immediate utility for business travelers and commuters alike.
But the vertical leap into the air, that's maybe the most captivating part of this whole transformation.
Yeah.
The EV tolls, the electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft.
The aerial taxi project, yes. This is a radical shift, moving ground transport into the third dimension. Dubai is the spearhead here, with passenger services expected to begin in 2026.
They've already done crewed flights, right?
They have. A recent flight carried 4 passengers plus a pilot, basically demonstrating readiness.
So what makes these flying taxis technically viable right now?
It's really a convergence of lightweight materials and advanced battery tech. These aircraft have a range of 160 kilometers and can hit a top speed of 320 kilometers. And crucially, the infrastructure, the vertiport network, is being built at the same time. Construction is already 60% complete near Dubai International Airport, and they have hubs planned for Zabil Dubai Mall, Atlantis the Royal on the Palm, and Dubai Marina.
From an engineering and auto service perspective, this is a massive shift for our listeners. We deal with internal combustion engines. These are giant flying electric vehicles.
Precisely. It shifts the diagnostic focus entirely. You go from engine management and transmission repair to high-voltage battery diagnostics, rotor balance, sophisticated flight control software.
The service providers of the future will need a whole new skill set.
They'll need to adapt rapidly to maintain fleets that operate both on the ground and in the air.
And this isn't just a Dubai thing.
Absolutely not. This is a UAE-wide play. Abu Dhabi is also rolling out services in 2026, working with Joby Aviation. They're planning for more than 10 vertiports.
And the impact is the same story.
Same story. Cutting that Abu Dhabi-Dubai journey from, say, 2 hours by car down to approximately 30 minutes by air.
And Ras Al Khaimah is joining too, with launches expected in 2027. That reduces its travel time to Dubai to less than 15 minutes. It's truly reshaping the geography of the Emirates.
It really is.
So now let's look at how daily life within the cities themselves will change. We've solved capacity with highways. We've solved speed with rail and air. The final layer is that urban last-mile commute.
This is where technology meets walking. And the expansion of mass transit is vital. The Dubai Metro Blue Line expansion is a huge project, adding 30 kilometers and 14 stations to the network by 2029.
This expansion is designed to link the existing lines and really target residential and education centers, right? The two main routes connect the Creek Interchange to Academic City and Center Point to International City.
Right, where people live and work, exactly. And meanwhile, in Abu Dhabi, they're innovating on the actual vehicle design. They launched the world's first modular smart vehicles in November of 2025.
Modular. What does that actually look like? How does a vehicle connect and attach based on demand?
Think of them like high-tech train cars that can also operate independently. They use advanced coupling systems and software to dynamically reconfigure themselves.
On the fly.
On the fly. If demand is low, a single unit operates. If rush hour hits, they can connect 3 or 4 units together to maximize capacity. This flexibility improves traffic flow and minimizes emissions because you're only moving the mass you need.
That's fascinating. And then there are the robotaxis. Abu Dhabi is the first city in the Middle East with commercially operating, fully autonomous robotaxi services.
Without a safety driver. That's the huge step forward. WeRide got the permits, initially operating on Yas Island and now expanding to Al Reem and Al Maraya.
This raises serious questions for our field, though. When you remove the safety driver, the vehicle itself becomes the ultimate safety mechanism. How does that impact diagnostics?
It creates a massive reliance on software diagnostics and the integrity of the sensor arrays. Instead of a mechanic checking brakes, they're checking radar calibration, LiDAR accuracy, failure shift from mechanical wear to sensor malfunction and data corruption.
It's a whole new world of maintenance.
It is. It requires completely new diagnostic tool sets.
Finally, we have to talk about the commitment to pedestrians, which often gets sidelined. The Dubai Walk Master Plan aims to transform the Emirate into a year-round, pedestrian-friendly city.
The scale is almost overwhelming, a 6,500-kilometer network covering 160 areas by 2040. They're planning to construct 3,300 kilometers of new walkways.
But the most impressive part is how they're tackling the climate challenge.
Which brings us to the Future Loop, that climate-controlled walkway near the Museum of the Future.
It's more than just a footpath.
Oh, it's a critical piece of infrastructure. An elevated 2-kilometer-long structure connecting 10 major locations, including the World Trade Center and metro stations. But the centerpiece is the 30,000-square-meter air-conditioned level.
Designed for year-round use. But air conditioning a space that big and elevated, that must require immense energy.
It does. But they're tackling this through intelligent design. They're using shaded structures, green areas, and specific materials to lower the ambient temperature before the AC even kicks in. It's a holistic approach, allowing people to walk between major hubs even in the hottest months.
It makes the city more usable.
It expands the useful square mileage of the city center.
So what's really fascinating here is the integrated approach.
It's never just one thing. It's a sophisticated, three-pronged attack. You've got capacity with the highway expansions, you've got pure speed with the 350-kilometer rail and the 320-kilometer aerial taxis, and then, critically, it optimizes the last mile.
With the metro, the smart vehicles, and these climate-controlled pedestrian zones.
The entire system reflects a total transformation of urban mobility standards, and it's all driven by immediate necessity.
So what does this all mean for you, the commuter, the resident, the traveler? The sheer scale of this investment is clearly aimed at giving you back those 45 hours currently lost in traffic.
It's a massive return on time.
While dramatically expanding your accessible travel radius across the Emirates.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the sources show travel times between major cities shrinking to just 30 minutes, whether by air or high-speed rail.
Which raises a really important question.
It does. When travel between major hubs becomes as fast as a metro ride across a single city, how might this integrated high-speed connectivity fundamentally change things? Like remote working patterns, where people choose to live versus where they work. The entire concept of a multi-emirate commute, it effectively shrinks the entire country into one seamless, high-velocity metropolis.
That concept, that a city 3 hours away is now just 30 minutes away, that fundamentally changes real estate, labor markets, the whole pace of life. That is a powerful thought for you to consider as these projects all come online. Thank you for joining us. This was the Swedish Experts Podcast. Subscribe so you don't miss upcoming episodes covering the latest transport news from Dubai and the UAE. See you in the next episode.